Joint Talk episode 23. Let's get this shit started.
I know no national boundary where the Negro is concerned. The world is my province until Africa is free.
First things first, gotta get that check. Secure the bag, now they mad. Go ahead, get your respect. Fools got a mouth but choose to talk about it, they neck. You might see me in the gym, but you
Hey,
see me.
hey, yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Moolah, for another Joint Talk podcast. Before we even start this video, make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Moolah. I got two guests with me today. I got So's in the building.
What's good, y'all? What's good? It's your boy So.
And I got my boy Infinite in the building, too. What's good, Infinite?
Peace. What's good? Thank you for having us.
Hey, yo, how y'all doing today, man? This is going to be a heavy financial show today. We talking about a lot of cryptocurrency, black currency. Let's dive into this bitch, bro. So, the black dollar. What do we need to learn about? Because we do not get taught this in school. They don't teach us about, they don't educate us about finances in elementary school, middle school, high school. We didn't learn this until later on in life. How do y'all feel about that?
I started asking like friends of mine, part of different communities and stuff. Like I had an Asian friend, and I was just like, "Yo, did your parents teach you about like business at a young age?" He was like, "Yeah, like at a young age, I've been knowing about all this stuff." I was like, "What?" Like me now, I'm like 25 now, so I'm just now tapping into it. Last year, I started my first LLC. So when we started Primal Records, and we became went from a single member LLC because now we got a few different members a part of it, whatnot. And I'm gonna say that the education, I feel like there is always fear, you know, and like Infinite was saying, false evidence appearing real. There's some benefits. The way the government treats businesses versus the way the government treats individuals is a day and night difference.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I like the way you started and you talked about your past, as far as you not even being tapped into business before, and when you asked one of your friends, you know, they told you that they were taught about business. Yeah, it's just not added into the school system. And I say system that way because system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. So a system was put together, you know, by a group or by a mind, by a set of hands to particularly do something.
So do you think as black people we're fearful to learn about finances because we wasn't taught it? You know, in the white homes, they're taught about financial literacy early. In the Asian homes, they're taught about that early. But I feel like as black people, we don't learn that until late, or we don't learn it at all.
Yes. So let me tell you why black people are fearful or melanated or African or whatever you describe them as. Because there was a point in time where if the slave master caught you reading, they would cut your tongue out. You know what I'm saying? So it's instilled in a lot of DNA of those whose families were indentured servants and then later slaves. You know, so it's like they were beaten and they were like killed for even tapping into the information. Right. So now it's like, it's not cool. That's not the thing to do, because it's like, if you was reading, you potentially could get all of us killed. You know, so yeah, it is a deeply embedded fear into it. That's why they still, you know, people still go away from it until it kind of becomes the vibe.
Now we're in 2021. The growth of black-owned businesses. You need a lighter? I got you. So we're in the growth of 2021, the black-owned businesses. How do you feel that, you know, we try to not even try to make it a competition between, you know, us and white people and all this other stuff, but how do we kind of change the narrative on the black-owned business? Because a lot of black people side-eye black-owned businesses. You know, when it comes to a white guy, they're like, oh, I'm obviously going to buy this product. This product is better than everybody else. But as soon as they hear it's a black person, they're like, I'm not really sure. Let me wait and see if everyone else jumps on that train, and then maybe I might hop on it too.
I'm gonna say that it comes from, again, like just more fear. And at one point we controlled all commerce. So at one point all commerce was black commerce, and we have diverted from the path for so long, we don't even understand what it looks like. And even still, like when we take a look at the history, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and things of that nature, like we see historically how black businesses have been treated by the system. So there's still that fear in there. And one of the things that we need to really tap into is just the abundant mind state, and just understand that there's no such thing as lack, and there's no need to be afraid. I feel like some people, they're just like waiting to hop on a bandwagon. They want to make sure, well, you know, that's I mean, it's a white, I can see how the white business thing comes into play, but another thing too is just the institutionalized, like we want to see people graduate college. We want to see people have some kind of certification from some kind of institution for us to be able to feel like they have some type of credibility. Even Dr. Sebi himself, like Dr. Sebi cured a handful of diseases, but because he didn't have an institutional certificate to say that he knew what he knew, some people were a little bit reluctant to take him on for his services. And it's really a injustice upon yourself, because you're really holding yourself back. You could really be tapping into some of the best businesses in the world, but because it's not dressed up the way that because of your expectations, in reality it's not dressed up the way you want it to, you know, you're going to pass on opportunities repeatedly, and that's what's going to keep the community poor.
So do you think we negatively compete against our own people? Because there's positive competition and negative competition. Negative competition is just, it's the crab in the barrel mentality, where you see that someone is on the up and coming, but you try to pull them down because, oh, how is he different? Why does he think he's better than me? Why does he think he's different than me? Do you think we have that mindset? And honestly, I think that's a slave mindset. This from all the way back in the day. Like you said before, if the master caught you reading, he gonna kill everybody. So do you think we still have that slave mentality now in this day and age?
So what you're speaking of is post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Oh, okay.
So it would be some form of disorder, because let me just break it down really quickly scientifically, right? Because it's just not about my opinions, but what are the facts. So it is a fact that, you know, it was a scientific experiment that was conducted on, you know, the melanated people, or those indentured servants. Let me just call them that, because it wasn't just, you know, blacks. You know what I'm saying? It was actually farmers at the time. You know, European farmers that were also poor. It's always been a rich versus poor thing. So let me also get that clear and straight. It's not been a white versus black thing, but a rich versus poor thing. Because even the individual who sent the indentured servants over here, that was a black man or a melanated man. Right. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, the nature and the fact is, there's a lot of that, but it's not intentional. You know what I'm saying? People don't mean to negatively do that, but
they just do it because it's just in their mind. They're trained to do that.
And they're trained to do that because of how they grew up. You know, it's about your family, how you were brought up, and it's about how they were brought up. And how they were brought up, and how they were brought up. So that's what it is. It's a family, like,
it's a cycle.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't, like, I know all of us in here wasn't raised with a whole bunch of money in our family. You feel me?
Shoot, my mom came off the banana, but my folks came off a banana boat. My uncle tells me stories about how people were getting ate by sharks trying to get over here.
Exactly. And I feel like because we don't come from money, we don't know much about it. Unless you know, maybe you luck out and you move to a community where, well, you know, suburb communities where you get to learn about that stuff. But all of us, you know, mainly came from the hood. You feel me? And do you feel like the government is still trying to hold us down, or we, you know, trying to, you know, make some headway little by little?
Well, there's a book that quite very well articulates some of the issues that we're facing in today's society as far as the family structure and how the economy affects that as well. It's called the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys, and it talks about how the agricultural industry back when post-slavery or post the thing about the word slave is, like, we were really prisoners of war. More so prisoners of war versus slaves. I mean, if we can break it down, as a Haitian, I can tell you that I come from a warrior class. my people come from West Africa. So a reason why you can see it articulated in the history of the Haitian Revolutionary War, because a lot of those individuals actually came from a warrior class. And it was one of the highest classes that you could be a part of. But when you're a prisoner of war, you're pretty much subject to whatever empire that has assimilated your tribe.
So is that the reason why you walk around with a machete?
This machete right here, that's a great question. So the Haitian Revolutionary War was won with this right here. And this is not a weapon. I want people to understand that. This is not a weapon. This is actually an agricultural tool. This weapon is actually, it can be used as a weapon, but really anything can become a weapon if you use your mind. I don't need a machete, really. My hands alone can do the job, I promise you. And the machete is an agricultural tool. It represents clearing the path. So this is how you clear brushage. You can use it to trim a tree. You can use it to clear a path through the forest. And this weapon was actually used by Ogun. And Ogun is a god of the Yoruba pantheon, and he's the one that you call to open a path. He's also the god of war. And the reason why I carry this machete is because, first of all, back in 2012 or back in 2011, I was preparing for 2012, and I was preparing for all the shit to hit the fan.
So you thought the end of the world was gonna happen when you saw the movie 2012?
I didn't watch the movie 2012. I was just reading about it, and the church I was going to, they were kind of like, well, 2012 could happen, but you know, Jesus loves us, and
Wow. And now you're here.
they're like, I feel like some of the religious folks, they're kind of like on the fence about it, and yeah, the reason why I carry the machete is just because it's all those different things, all encompassing, and it's a pretty historical part of my history, and I used it to clear the path, and it was used as a weapon. Ironically, the same tool that was used to clear forest and cut down sugarcane was then turned against the oppressive force and used as a liberating tool. It was actually guns versus the machetes, and I'll tell you, the machetes won.
Look at God.
So Infinite, you're a financial consultant, not a financial advisor. What do you say, or what do you invest in?
So I first say that this is not financial advice.
Yeah, we don't want to get sued. So this is not financial advice. This is just opinions of people who put money into finances. That's it. We invest.
This is purely for entertainment and educational purposes. Everything that I say is purely for entertainment and educational purposes. You know, we're all living in this reality. You know, life's a bit of a hologram. You know, is what we make it. So you know, we're just playing.
I want you to reintroduce him. Don't say that he's a financial advisor or whatever. You can, however he wants to be addressed, if that's how you want to be addressed, but that, in my mind, leaves you up to legal liabilities.
Well, I said financial consultant. He's not a financial advisor. You did say you was a financial consultant.
You could say financial life coach.
Okay, financial life coach.
I would just say finance enthusiast.
Finance enthusiast? Would that work?
That sounds happy.
That's what I would say.
That sounds happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are
Okay.
a finance enthusiast.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm just enthusiastic about finance.
Exactly.
I really don't know anything about, finance. I just know everything about life.
Okay.
So finance enthusiast?
That's what I would say.
Okay.
That's
If you guys are cool with it, I'm just trying to be.
That's
like,
wavy.
Hey,
That's
let's
wavy.
Keep us not.
finance enthusiast is wavy.
So Infinite, you're a finance enthusiast.
Yes.
This is not a financial show. We do not want to get sued. Disclaimer's already out there. So you're a financial enthusiast. What do you invest in?
So, as I was saying, I first say that this is not.
Nope, redo that. Okay, because it's not as you were saying, because now I'm cutting all that.
Right.
Right? So, you got to restart it and think, this first time I'm saying this. See
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Got you.
I could jump
One
in
more
like that.
time.
All right, good. So Infinite, you're a financial enthusiast. And we're going to say this disclaimer right here. This is not financial advice. Do not sue us. We ain't giving you no money anyways.
Definitely. You don't need to say anything more than this is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice. So, Infinite, what do you invest in?
Okay, so there's many different things that you can do when it comes to investing. I myself, pretty. Okay, so let me just first say, investing is not, the bare minimum of what it is that I do. Essentially, I'm an educator. Okay. I'm a teacher. Not just a teacher, but actually, I was recently ordained as a minister from the church. I have a religious assembly, so I have my own temple. Mm-hmm. I'm currently building a consultation firm with individuals who have went through, like you said, the mental healing, and who have went through the transformations. The people who came from nothing, man. I wasn't even born in this state. Like my people from West Africa, Guinea, Conakry. I was born in France. I came here when I was 4. So it was like, I'm essentially I'm connected, bloodly to the wealth. So in my DNA, I'm able to, tap into particular information as far as, investing. I don't particularly even speak, share information on certain things on investing because, the best investment you can make is on yourself. Let me just say it. Okay. Invest in being able to take advantage of the opportunities because poor, as Seaux9 said, is passing over opportunities repeatedly. So that's the only reason you stay poor. And when you get rich, that's when you start creating residual income because that creates happiness. That's rich. So you know what I'm saying? That's when you start learning to invest. So I can tell you easily what to invest in, but if you don't know what you're doing or if your mind is not set, then you're going to get, but you're not going to keep.
Okay. So that what's that app that you guys are always talking on?
So right now we are currently heavily on Fanbase.
Okay, so Fanbase. Y'all was on there earlier. You're going live on it right now. Indeed. Tell me a little bit about Fanbase because you guys talk about, financials. You guys talk about cryptocurrency. Crypto's the biggest thing now because in the next 5 to 10 years, it's not financial advice, but the next 5 to 10 years, the American dollar is going poof. Basically, so it's either get on the train now or your ass is grass.
Well, because the American dollar is just not going to go poof.
It's already going poof right now.
A hyperinflation similar to the Weimar Republic.
Yeah, just like that. But it's going to be definitely forms of transformation. You know what I'm saying? As it goes right now, if everybody stopped using the dollars, then it would be like War 3. So it's like, it's not something that's just going to happen just like that. The whole system of the 51% rule will have to come into play here, where 51% of the whole start being on the other side for it to be.
But that's why I said the next 5 to 10 years, because as of right now, you can't really use cryptocurrency for everything. I'm like, yeah, Tesla introduced that now you can buy cars with Bitcoin or whatever, but
they actually just rescinded that.
Yep.
And
so they took that back. They said no.
No, he did.
Yeah, Tesla just said that they are stopping all of their current. Here, I can pull it up and put it on the web.
Yeah, because I know Bitcoin said that a couple months ago that now you could buy a Tesla with it. So when did it change? Probably like a couple weeks ago.
It was like literally yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago.
Yesterday?
Yeah, it's very, very.
Wow, very, very recent. Okay, I wasn't wrong.
But when I saw that, I'm like, okay, he's about to go to Doge.
Nah, I think Dogecoin is bullshit. Me and Pat actually talked about it. Pat's the one that got me out of Dogecoin because I put probably like $100 or so into it, and then when I started, Pat basically opened my fucking eyes with his own hands and told me that this shit is bullshit and that you need to actually look into it. And when I did look into it, I'm like, damn, like I'm just investing my money just to put it there just so it can make no money and just so I can fucking take it out and do something else with it. So
the problem with Doge is that it has an infinite supply. It prints, I might be wrong, it prints about 14 million coins every day, and so there's really no scarcity to it. There's nothing backing it up. It's not being actively developed as a platform or as a fork of Bitcoin. It's literally just there for people to play when suckers invest it and get more Bitcoin, basically.
So basically no value.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely no value.
No real value.
Are you guys in Bitcoin or Ethereum? What are you guys in?
So I was going to say, on the note of Elon Musk and Tesla, he's a billionaire and a mastermind. So just, watch, what he is going to do.
Dude, he's a puppet, bro.
He's not just, doing what he's doing. So I'm like, it's about to be a shift. And if you can see it, you can.
But see,
he's going to allow his customers to use crypto, but it's just not going to be Bitcoin. Maybe he's coming out with his own coin.
All right, see, this is the... Oh, hold on. He just pulled it up right here. So Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin. We are concerned about rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions, especially coal, which has the worst emissions of any fuel. Huh. And that was... You said that was 2 days ago?
This was yesterday at 6:06 p.m. You can see that right over there. You can see Elon Musk with the check mark. So cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe it has a promising future, but this cannot come at a great cost to the environment. Tesla will not be selling any Bitcoin, and we intend to use it for transactions as soon as mining transitions to a more sustainable energy. We are also looking at other cryptocurrencies that use less than 1% of Bitcoin's energy/transactions. Good thing for ADA, a Cardano network. That's
Cardano?
Yeah,
I have some Cardano.
That's ADA.
That's ADA. ADA.
Okay, so that just happened yesterday at 6:06, right? Now, there is a town in Germany where you can use Bitcoin for anything. You can use cryptocurrency to buy food, water, clothes, sneakers, like whatever. And that's why I'm saying in the next 5 to 10 years, things are going to change, because if they have one town right now, bro, think about what's going to happen in 5 years. Shit, there might even be a state in the U.S. that says, you know what, you can use certain things to buy, and you can use it with cryptocurrency. Bro, the American dollar, or just the day and age that we live in right now, bro, is different. Technology is taking over. Shit. Pat, can you remind the people again, what did you say about how cryptocurrency in the next couple of years could either be our enslavement or our passage?
It can be the gateway to freedom, or it can be complete detriment towards slavery for all of mankind. There's a few issues. Bitcoin is awesome. It was originally planned to be decentralized and anonymous, but now people have addresses that are associated with public records, and so algorithms can track what addresses go with whom. And with the rise of current exchanges like Coinbase that ask you to that basically follow KYC, which is know your customer, which is what you have to do for SEC compliance. And so they're kind of going against what I believe is the fundamental.
How do y'all feel about that? Do you think cryptocurrency could be our gateway or our detriment?
I think first and foremost that we create the reality that we live in. So cryptocurrency wasn't going to do anything for me that I wasn't ready to do for myself.
And what are you ready to do for yourself?
I'm ready to provide myself with heaven and create heaven continuously.
Infinite, what do you think?
Okay, so what I was about to say is just like the machete that you talked about earlier. Like, yeah, it's the thing that you use in the garden, but it's going to be the thing that's going to cut the necks off too. So yes, I think that's what, effectively crypto is, what it's going to be. It's just going to be the way to get everybody into technology, you know what I'm saying? So then once they take it away, you're already going to be adapted to, that form of technology. Then it's going to I feel like it's going to evolve into some form of like chips, micro, nano technology and stuff like that. It's just like encrypted stuff, but, the elements reign supreme. So gold and silver, is definitely, the things that I'm going to be, or I want to get into as far as mining, and crystals, the things that you can use to charge and generate and do certain things with, the properties. Because, the cryptocurrency and everything digital, that's the matrix. And
it's really funny that you bring up chips, right?
Talk about it.
Check this out.
Okay.
Look at the confidence monitor behind you.
So this is patent number WO2020060606. Title: Cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Abstract: human body activity associated with a task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. A server may provide a task to a device of a user which is communicatively coupled to the server. A sensor communicatively coupled to or comprised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. Body activity data may be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. The cryptocurrency system collectively coupled to the device of the user may verify if the body activity data satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency system and award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity data is verified.
So, do you think they're gonna start putting things in our body or some shit, or what are you guys thinking from that article?
I mean, they've been at it really. I mean,
that's
with Henrietta
the extreme
Lacks
version.
They've been at it really with since Henrietta Lacks. You know, they've been messing with the genetics. They've been playing with the DNA. So as technology progresses, you know, they just get a little bit more efficient at it. Really, I'm not. I was born with all the tools I need to succeed, so I'm not really looking for anything from these technological companies. It's supposed to be quote unquote advancement of man.
See, that's I'm not gonna. Now we're gonna go a little bit off topic, but that's one of the reasons why I low key don't want to get the coronavirus shot. Mainly because, bro, like I'm hearing stories of people having 2 shots. All right, they're feeling fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the pharmaceuticals are like, "Hey, can you come in again and get another shot?" Like, my nigga, 3, my nigga. 4, maybe every single year you got to get another shot. Like, what are they trying to put inside of our bodies, bro?
Well,
Like,
I speak to parents all the time, and they say that one of their biggest regrets is giving their children vaccines.
yeah, but I'm talking about.
Okay, so what they're putting in, let's just talk about it a little bit. You know, like I said, is nanotechnology. I mean, who's the biggest funders, the financiers of the project?
Bill Gates, people like that.
Which does what? What does he do? He's the owner of
Microsoft,
which is
technology.
So it was like, okay, so technology, you know, plus medicine equals nanotechnology. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening. You know, as far as the vaccine, that's why there's been videos going out this week on Instagram of like magnets getting stuck to people who's taking the vaccine.
Magnets?
Magnets.
Oh, hell no.
Look it up, please.
Oh, hell no.
Videos like magnets.
No.
And it says,
As long as you look at this, I will. I'll look that up too.
Pentagon scientists invest in microchips which senses COVID-19 in the body.
Invent, not invest.
Oh, invent, my fault. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, they really want to chip us. They really want to chip us.
So you telling me before I go on the club, they gotta read my chip first? Let me
They
scan.
want us to
Put out
get
your
there.
arms.
so
I mean, they're really just trying to get, okay, so with the mind, right? The mind is so powerful, and we have access to information now in this digital age. So with these phones inside of our hands, like the discrepancy was initially like when, okay, I can take it back way back, right? Before the computer. Like when you had to write an essay, you had to go to the library, you had to pull out a handful of books, you had to write it by hand, and if the teacher couldn't read your handwriting, you know, your paper was getting cut. So we fast forward to today's society, that same paper, you know, I can just go on the internet and I can just type in, I don't know, high blood pressure medication, and I can do a research article about how certain and I can literally just type in like if I was trying to do an essay about high blood pressure, I could type in high blood pressure into Google, and literally millions of pieces of information that is dated back as far as the earliest pieces of information to the most current pieces of information, and I can reference all of those very easily. With this kind of information is powerful. So they're trying to keep control over everything that we do. And with technology in our hands, with the internet, it's the wild west. Cryptocurrency, decentralizing currency. You know, people are creating their own marketing, creating their own currency, and they're creating their own communities, and they're gaining power back, you know, because we give a lot of power to the system, so people are getting their power back. That being said, too, with these microchips, they're trying to literally get to the last frontier, and that's conquer the mind. But it's like, at the same time, I'm not really worried. Like,
they've already conquered the mind, man.
I was saying, I'm not worried because the mind is so powerful. We can create the realities that we live in. So
but the problem is that we're only talking about a handful of people that know this. Think about the kids. Think about what they're watching on TV. Think about all the technology that they fucking have, bro. Think about TikTok, bro.
The children are actually I'm not worried about the children, because the children are actually going to be a lot better than us. They're already better than us. They're born better than us. Each generation, because that's the way genetically. I
don't know about that, bro.
Because as
what I see, I'm not calling anybody kids stupid or nothing like that. But I'm not gonna bullshit. I think they're trying to dumb down our children, bro. Let's be honest.
I think our children are born quite intelligent, and they learn to be stupid from society.
So you're telling me that society is the one that's making these kids dumb?
It also has to do with your nutrition.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, so with children, right, the mothers are the first teachers, and a lot of mothers inside of these communities, like, I mean, they didn't have that great of an education.
Okay, so I recently saw a Umar Johnson video where he was saying, let's start looking at the community. You know, it's not just about, you know, the let's not stop looking at the mother or the father, because, you know, everybody got a story, everybody got a this, everybody got a that. It's a community, because we got children, like, you know, right now, like, killing each other, like 13-year-olds killing 15-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? 15-year-olds shooting 16-year-olds, 16-year-olds.
I gotta use the restroom.
15-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, you can. Do you think?
Yeah.
Nah, but that's serious, bro. Like, the community is the problem.
Yeah,
bro.
so like the so-called, you know, priests in the community, the so-called, you know, the Jehovah Witness in the community, the fraternities in the community. You know what I'm saying? The owned businesses, the black owned businesses in the community. All these individuals that are in the community, they're the ones that essentially look out for the children, because children don't feed themselves. When the children growing up, they don't clothe themselves. So that's a community thing. Even if the mom don't got it, she typically go to what, like a church or a school or some type of organization to get the stuff. So it's the community got to jump in on the problem, you know, to eradicate all that stuff that's going on. It's like, it's the children are broken because that's the parents' fault, not it's the community fault. You know what I'm saying? That's what time.
And it's just a cycle that's continuing, bro. Like, you see, I'm not gonna be one of these hypocrites and be like, oh, you see it in the music, this, that, and the third, because I listen to that type of music, bro. I listen to trap music, I listen to all that shit. But when I listen to that music, I don't want to go out and start doing all that crazy shit. It doesn't make me want to go, oh, let me go rob this nigga right now just because I was listening to some Hot Boy shit, bro. Like, nah, bro.
Yeah, but
you know,
but
maybe certain people are just controlled, just like they're easily influenced. There's a lot of easily influenced people out here. There's not a lot of leaders. There are more followers than there are leaders.
So how are people easily influenced?
They're easily influenced because they hear this music and they think that these niggas are doing this shit right now as it's fucking going on. So they're like, oh, well, shit. Like, if my favorite artist is fucking talking about hitting licks on motherfucker, let me do that shit too.
Do you guys know about brain waves?
Yes, that's where I was going right there.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So basically,
can I ask you that same question? Yeah, it's like you're kind of answering the question.
Yeah. So basically, your brain wave state indicates your current state of being, right?
Frequency.
Yes, exactly. The thing about TVs is that they can have carrier frequencies, which is actually how FM radio works. And you can do that visually as well as auditorially. So the way it works is you have one frequency that's super, super high, right? That's modulated by another frequency. And then, so you don't hear the like music, right? But the radio can pick up the unmodulated frequency. I mean, the modulated frequency, shift it down to where you just hear the radio signal, right? That's kind of how it all works. I could go into more detail if I wanted, but this isn't really the time for that, I don't think.
All right, so what's your point? What's your point about
but hold on. I haven't got to the thing. So carrier frequencies, they affect your brain waves to the point where There are delta wave, theta wave, alpha waves, and beta waves and gamma waves, right?
Yes.
Those are the main ones. Your delta wave is the lowest vibrational frequency. Your theta waves are supposed to be the most like beneficial wave. Essentially, it's when you're in deep meditation. And then there's alpha and beta waves. So when you're in a delta brainwave state, that's essentially what you are when you're 0 to about 8 years old, right? So you don't have any filter. You just take in information. And the screens that we look at every day basically do that to you. They put you in a delta wave state so you don't think critically of the information that you're gleaning off of it.
Right.
So it's really interesting. And here's something you can read about that.
Okay, so what I was getting at with these generations, right? Every generation is destined to supersede the previous generation.
Right.
Otherwise, we will be in a continuous downward spiral, and that's not how elevation works.
Well,
elevation looks to go upwards, and so every day we gain an opportunity to better ourselves. And as men, we carry the seed of life itself. So our experiences on a day-to-day basis, as we elevate ourselves, we also elevate our genetic code. So I'm not like. Throughout history, there's always been these, the end times. It's like 2012 is coming. It's like, these computers is about to be like the Y2K. It's like I don't subscribe to these ideas because it's like every few years it's something else. It's on the verge of destroying society, and it's like I'm tired of hearing this narrative. Like, no, we're gonna be here for eternity, really. So.
Yeah, talk about it. So, man, don't subscribe to it. People are subscribing like it's a channel, like a YouTube channel. Like, why are you tuning into that channel and like that frequency?
I don't even pay attention to stuff like that. Like,
so you think it might be the news? Because I feel like both of y'all don't pay attention to the news. Because I certainly don't.
Okay, so the news, right? The news, it's not like I don't
news is brainwashing, bro.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to it knowing that. So I'm not going to let it brainwash me. I'm going to see what's really going on. I'm not going to ignore the news. I'm not going to ignore anything the Most High or the current sends to me. I'm going to receive it and see it from the Most High perspective. Oh, thank you. Oh, now I know what to do. You know, I don't see it from the panic or from the fear or from the lack perspective. I see it from the abundant. I say, oh, thank God this has happened. Now I know I can do this. I'm learning in the moment, you know.
And the children themselves, like each generation is destined to supersede the generation that came before it. And the reason why we're having a lot of problems right now is because the previous generations had a hard time understanding that. You know, like I said, the children, I pay attention to the children. I've seen my nephew, right now, he's incredible. Like all of my nephews are incredible. And I'm already knowing that they're going to be like as great as they see I am. I'm already knowing that they're going to be greater than me, you know, because another thing too, it's like the information we have now, we talk about community. It's important for us to instill this into the children so that when they are playing the game, when they're starting at level 1, they have the experience of somebody who's already at level 100, you know. And like I said, we create our reality, whether and you can tape that as deeply as you like to. So yes, you can reshape your whole entire reality. You can reshape your whole entire universe based upon your thoughts alone. And it's important to tap into the abundant frequency. There's nothing to fear. No, everything in the universe is working in your benefit, actually. The universe is actually working to help you be the best version of yourself. And I don't subscribe to any ideas besides that, because that's the truth, and the truth is absolute.
Complete abundance. That's how people should think. You know, like, honestly, it's crazy because I didn't really start thinking about that until I'd say probably around college is when I found out about astrology. And astrology is what really opened my eyes to understanding abundance and how it's almost like you train your mind that you will have something.
Facts.
Once you tell your mind
it's
you're
yours
gonna have
already.
something, then the universe it just opens up. And I feel like, you know, we don't teach our children, or our kids don't really know much about learning about abundance.
Actually, I think the children know, really. I think the children know. It's like society, you know, because when you start society, like they tell you that your children is acting out of character. So that means that, you know, your child isn't behaving the way that you like the society, the child isn't behaving the way society would like your child to behave. So your child isn't acting right. So it's like, what is acting right though? So like, we're acting. This is all a game. This is all a play. This is all a show. Like, we're all acting in roles, and we're all trying to fulfill these roles. And it's like your child isn't acting. Like me, I remember growing up, like, and they're trying to give me medication to try to make me take Adderall, like, because I wasn't acting right, you know. So they prescribed me methamphetamine, pharmaceutical grade methamphetamine, so that I could act properly, because they felt that I had too much energy. And I actually had a problem with that a few days ago. Like, I ran into somebody and they were just like, so now you just have too much energy for me. And I'm just like, no, really what it is that you lack energy. And what it is when I come with all of this energy, I do overwhelm your system and I do overload your system. But really, instead of being afraid of that, you should really learn how to tap into it. It's like the avatar state. It's like, whoa, man, it's too much power. It's like, no, you need to learn how to control that power, because that power is actually your friend. That power allows you to change and reshape your reality. And it's like, when you are in a lower vibration, you have the less power to do so. And it's like, really, you should not try to block it off and stop the energy. No, you should let the energy flow. Let all of it flow. And then you can become into the higher states of consciousness. You can really tap into your true higher self, and you can really let energy flow, and you can be energy, and you can become a super energetic being. You can become a super light being, you know, the light force inside of you, the life force. Yeah, it might be a little bit too much for somebody who's lacking in life. So it's like, yeah, you might like all that power. Like, you got a small computer, you put the you put too much energy inside you, like you put too much current inside of something, right? You're gonna fry the motherboard. Oh, let's upgrade our motherboard so that we can take that. Let's upgrade our motherboard so that it will never fry. As much energy going into it, we can actually utilize it, all the energy, to our advantage.
Hey, yo, shout out to Soul, bro. Yo,
333.
Pat, can you put up his IG, please?
Yo, 333. He on the 9.
Hey, shout out. I like that. You're so.
He on the 9 time.
I like that.
On the God time. We already know what it is.
Hey, yo, we gonna have to switch up the next topic. Let's talk about that big showcase that you was at in Atlanta, bro.
Ooh-wee.
All right, so tell us about that.
Man, we was fighting demons, man. Let me tell you, man. We was fighting demons. We was on that mountain. We was at ATL camping trip, man. Oh man.
You made it sound so biblical. Yeah, we was on that mountain. We was fighting.
I mean, we ascended the mountain,
essentially, yes,
to the highest point of elevation, and we threw a show, and everybody who was a part of the show said that it was so healing. They said that the message was so impactful. The message was everything that they needed to hear. And you know, we were looking to shift the frequency. Like, when we come with this energy, it's not no game. And it's like, yeah, we know that there's a status quo. We know that there's a way that people are looking for particular people to behave, and a particular way for people to talk. We're not invested in those things. We're not invested in those ideas. We're invested in the elevation and the growth, and anything that looks like that, and anything that's the opposite of that, because it's doing two things. It's either growing or it's dying. And it's like, we've already seen enough death. I'd like to see growth. I'd like to see some flowers grow. I'd like to see some things bloom. So when we went to that trip, there were some people who were still stuck in a lack mind state, and they were suffering from that lack disease. And you know, when you lack, you know, you start going outside of your nature. You start doing something that's unnatural, because you're trying to fix a chemical response inside of your body. You need to look outside of yourself, which is something that's outside of your nature. So you're taking something that's outside of your nature in order to finesse a chemical reaction from your body. And we had to fight a lot of those demons.
Are you going to do another festival?
Yeah, the next festival, we're not going to talk too much about it, but
we got something coming.
This next one,
summertime. The next big event will be Juneteenth. That will be the next big event. Even before then, on the 19th, actually come out.
All my friends
and Seaux9, the great, you know, will be coming together.
Do you get on the track as well, or are you the management?
Infinite gets jiggy everywhere. You know, I do a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that man was actually killing the freestyles at Kemper Trip. Yo, he won ciphers back to back. Like, this man won ciphers back to back with the freestyles.
Yeah,
like, he was killing
like
it.
When he said battling demons, like he really meant like I would go into a tent and they'll be like, oh, so we got a new challenger. Then all of a sudden it was like a contest, and I'm like, I just got in here. They was like, you know what time we on? You know what I'm saying? We riding the demons, and I was like, oh, what? Like, why you?
So y'all trying to?
Yeah, so
I need to get in my bag right now.
Facts.
Yo, this man started. like started getting them with the words, with the words,
machete,
yo.
Say with the sword, right? So I'm in there for 2 hours, and by the time I get out of there, they talk about freestyling about coming together now. They freestyling about building. They're freestyling about like childhood shit. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I put in some time. But yeah. Anyways, but I also do a lot of the like I said, I do a lot of managing due to my, I guess you could say, astrological alignments. I have a Venus and Capricorn in the second house, so I love to do this. I love to see the process coming together and to be putting the process together. But because I'm an Aquarius, I'm also expressive and vocal. So I do also create. I have one song, and I have a few things lined up coming out. I usually don't even discuss that or talk about it. One thing So and I always discuss is practice makes perfect. And it's about that practice, so I'll goddamn, get something out 10,000 times before, I even let someone see it once.
You got that Joint Talk exclusive. I like that.
Facts.
So are y'all together for Primal Records? So you're the musician and he's the management side?
We're actually both doing those things. We switch hats every now and then, and we're still in the process of building the team, building it up. And honestly, with the two of us combined, like the work ethic has just been crazy. Like when people meet me, they're just like, man, you work so hard. And every time they see us out in the streets, like it's getting to that point, they're just like, we see y'all working, because the work doesn't stop. And Primal Records, like we're looking to take the sound, like the primal sound, the sound of the original sound, like the original frequency that's pure, that's back to its original state. That's the sound that we're trying to get out to the people, the pure sound, the healing sound. And it's like, to purify something, purification, is to make it divine. It's divine is to make it pure. And we're trying to get people back into a state of divinity where they can back into their pure selves, before their childlike, that child, before they were experienced that trauma, the child was such a beautiful flower, the child was such a beautiful being, just getting them back to that pure state of being and letting go of all the trauma and healing, really healing, going deeper. And Primal Records is earlier Pecan was telling us about how whatever you are ordained to do, you should use those talents. And I was watching Jay-Z, he was in an interview, and he was saying, like whatever your God-given gift is, whatever it is that makes you remarkable. And the one thing that's always made me remarkable is the sound. Like a producer, songwriter, engineer, anytime I pick up an instrument, anything that has to do with sound, I just generate a crowd. And then Steve himself, once he starts talking, he generates a crowd. So we come together, and those two magnetic forces come together, and it just creates more attraction. So
how'd you come up with the name Primal Records?
Because I was looking to get primal. Like I was trying to like I was tapping into my ancestors back when they was still hunting animals down and whatnot, because that's primal energy. Like that's some real sportsman, like that's real primal energy. And it's like I'm just tapping into the primal energy, like the original energy, and letting it flow, like that carnage, that strength, that courage, that that rage. Yeah, just that energy.
So I know you just have yourself under the label. Are you looking to pick up any new talent, or?
We have a couple prospects right now. It all has to be within alignment. We're also looking for artists that are putting out the message for the next generation to hear. Like today, I was on Twitter and I seen that Moneybagg Yo had tweeted out that he has the new Lean anthem, and I was asking, with the struggling black economy and during a panoramic, this is the type of music that we want to give to the people. We want them to be listening to music that encourages them to tap into vices that they have no control over, that eventually over time completely destroy their mind, body, and soul. Is this the message we're looking to promote to our own people? And based upon that, for recruits for Primal, we're looking for people who are trying to go against the grain and push the creative envelope.
So you want to do something different. So is that what you're looking to do when you come out with your next tape? Because I know you said you was working on something.
Yes, the next tape is definitely, so the next tape is going to be tuned to 432, and it's going to have positive affirmations throughout the whole entire tape. And we're looking to take back control over the music industry. Although they've had quite a handful of wealthy investors to promote all these different ideas that have continuously destroyed our communities, we're looking to shift the narrative and shift the frequency back to the healing sound.
So you think that these record labels are looking to destroy the community, they're not looking to uphold and help the community?
You can take a look at the crime rate before gangster music, and you'll see everything that you need to see. The music itself, like, it's a chant. So it's like I said, we create the reality that we're living in. So when you're listening to a song that's encouraging you to destroy your immediate environment, and you start taking a look at the areas where the music like that is consumed, you start looking at the areas where the music is coming out and what they're saying. These children, they don't have a mind of their own. So when they're coming up and they're hearing people rap about killing each other and doing drugs, they're going to think that that's the norm. They're going to think that that's cool. I thought that was cool when I was growing up. I'm not even going to hold you. I thought being a drug dealer was going to be the only way I was going to be able to get respect. It wasn't until I was able to tap into a different frequency and elevate myself to a higher perspective that I was able to have a better outlook on life. My thing is that, do you think it's the music? Because people make music because that's what they've been through or what they're going through at the moment, or, you know, maybe they've seen that before. So do you think the music is like that because we grow up like that? I'm like, we grow up in these environments where we see people kill, steal, we see people sell drugs. Shit, you know, I'm like, I've definitely sold some weed some time in my life, bro. Everyone sold weed a time in their life, you feel me? So, like, do you think it's more of the things that we've been through rather than the actual music, or do you think it's flipped? It's the music that's controlling what we've actually been through? Well, the music itself, right? We take a look at the music that's played inside of black communities, and if we look at the message that they're sending out, they're calling women out their name. They're calling men a name, like men call themselves nigga. Like they're perpetuating grabbing weapons and shooting up the block and selling dope and, you know, and heavy drug usage. So it's like, there's causation, there's a strong correlation between the music and what people are doing. Yeah. So it's like you listen to the music and you get into a frequency, you get into you tap into the frequency, and whatever that frequency is, that's whatever you're tapped into. So if you're tapped into a lower vibrational song, and it's all it's talking about is destruction, inherently you're going to start to destroy your environment. Now, some people have a willpower that allows them to supersede what they're going through. This is why I say the power of the mind, you feel me? But not everybody's at that level. So it's like when they're not at that level, whatever level they're on, whatever they're receiving, that's what they're going to emulate.
That's something different. You know, because I feel like we kind of grow up in a society where we kind of take the music a little too seriously. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And I feel like some people take what they listen to heart, to where like they're like, damn, I want to do that as well. You feel like that's a bad approach, or I said approach. Is that a bad approach to listening to that type of music?
Well, the music itself is just trying to create this hyper aggressive black man, and like that's just not the reality that we're living in.
So they're trying to change the way that they're trying to change the way that
it's done already.
We look at black people, but everyone else looks at black people.
I mean, it's changed. Like, the work has already been done. Like, the work, like, this is not something that we're watching happening. No, the work has already been done. We take a look at the way music was made. Like, some of the first dope deal of music that was ever made was made with a live band, and they separated the band because they wanted to create separation. You know, divide and conquer, that's the tactic. So they separated the band and they created solo artists, and now you have a 2-track. You know, you went from actually working with a band, working with a live set. And it's like another thing too, like you might have heard one dope song on a record, right? But the whole entire record, all the other songs would be what, you know, whatever the artist was articulating at the time. And I just think it's time for new music. Like, how much more music can we make about rapping and killing each other? That, like, how many other ways can we really flip that? Like, and we don't need to. Like, there's so many other topics to talk about. That's a lack mind state. That comes from trap music. Trapped where? I'm not trapped. I'm free. I make free music.
All right, so you make free music. Explain, what is free music? What is the music that you make that's different from everyone else's?
Free your mind. Free your soul. You know, tap into who you are. Love yourself. Love the people around you. Appreciate life. Give gratitude. Give thanks.
Do you think we're taught to hate where we come from and hate our skin and, you know, hate our culture?
that's something that I struggle with myself, even as a Haitian. Most people would never even imagine that somebody as proud to be Haitian as I am. There's plenty of Haitian people who have told me that Haiti isn't a place that you want to visit, isn't a place that you want to go. So it's like, again, that lack mind state, that fear mind state. It's like stuck inside of the and the crazy thing about it too, when we go to school, our history starts with slavery, but as a people, we have over 100,000 years of history that predates that. We talk about ancient Kemet, we talk about ancient Nubia. Like, this is far predates everything that we're talking about. We saw Olmec heads, we're seeing the pyramids, we're seeing all the monuments that we created. Christopher Columbus came to the United States using a map that was created by a black man. We had some of everything that was ever created was created by us first. So that being said, like, we have a huge history that's never spoken about, and it's all very much so intentional, because when you start history off with slavery, most people think that we started off at the bottom. No, we actually started at the top.
And that's the reason why they wanted to enslave us, because they felt like they were the superior people.
Oh, okay.
I feel that the reason why they wanted to enslave us was that
well, nobody enslaved us. We fell
prisoners of war.
We fell from the top, because if we were at the top, how can slaves enslave the top?
So do you think we were tricked into slavery?
Well, no, it's not essentially tricked, but we, like I said, we fell out of the seats. They said, your highness, they sit on the throne, so we fell out of the seats.
We committed a sin.
Yeah, we
what sin was committed?
Sin is when sin is to sin against yourself. So to sin against yourself too is to go against your own kind, to go against your own brother. So that
we started selling our people.
We started selling ourselves.
Well, yeah, selling ourselves. Yeah, before that, and selling out. You know what I'm saying? And not, selling in. So it just there was a point in time where there was, as he stated, so much abundance, so much overflow, that things started becoming overbearing and overwhelming. So things started becoming overthrown. So that's essentially what happened. It got to that pivotal point. And even in the Michael Jackson video, Remember the Time, he breaks it down. Like, essentially that's what happened. They got bored of being able, not bored, but just relaxed and comfortable within the realm, not wanting to continue expanding. And then it's like, okay, so then you're going to restart, you know what I'm saying, or recycle. Really, that's really all it is. It goes back to the cycle. So they recycled 6,000 years in time. And like he was saying, the Christopher Columbus was sent here. He was just, a traveler, and there were already people, indigenous, aboriginal people here, people of the land, people of the red skin and the yellow skin and the brown skin, already here, so they effectively came in, as foreigners into this nation, and then now they are governing the nation as the government, and government breaks down to governmental. And the government is controlling the television or the live vision that tells lies to your vision. So, it's all a program, so it all goes back to the system. So it's like, once we understand, who we are, and we really tap into who we are within, like our genetics, our DNA, first and foremost, your blood, so you can see the power that you had. Our families all had power. If we were at the top once again, then that means there was power within. But it's not until you get into your proper status that they'll respect your power. You have no power as black. You have no power as African American. You have no power as Hispanic, because there's no nations. There's no black nation. There's no Blackistan or black.
So do you think, we don't even have to get to a nation part, but do you think we'll ever get to that point again where we will once again be on top?
Well, yeah, so you have to have your nationality. When I mention nation, they're just referring to your nationality. You have no nationality as black, as, if you're Haitian, that's his nationality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so essentially, you about to say something about it too.
So about 400 years of quote unquote slavery to the 100,000 years plus being on this planet, that makes up less than 1% of our existence. So for about 99% of our existence, we've been at the top. You take a look at history. A lot of people had Mansa Musa. Gold was so plentiful. People had gold ridiculous things that you wouldn't even get in gold. Like people had gold saucer dishes, like butter. People had gold butter pans. Animals had gold collars. Gold was in abundance. So for most of our existence, we've been abundant. This has just been a nice little, this has just been a pretty rough little speed bump. And like all things, it must come to an end and a new cycle must begin. And this was just a lesson for us to learn about how we treat each other.
Facts. That's all it was, you know, because everything comes back to 1 and then 0. Or I should say 1 and then 9. That's why you have the infinite 1 and so 9. So essentially, we did this to each other. That's why this conversation started on nobody enslaved us. We put ourselves into this circumstance, right? Circumstance, you know, and because we wanted to get back to the center of it, because that's the point. You know what I'm saying? That's the point of this whole thing, is to get back to the center, get back whole, get back balanced. So, you know, we created this experiment as being pieces in the mind. We're all just pieces in the mind. You know, essentially, like, let's stop, you know, taking everything so seriously when what's the matter is the only thing that you make matter. Whatever you think on repeatedly, that's what matters. That's what becomes real, literally. Like, if I never heard of the word encyclopedia, it can't be matter. It can't be real. I can't see it in my mind. You know, so that's how we create things in this reality. And that's what he said, like, when we start actually coming together now with those who are able to see those same things, then we can project those images, you know, out.
So do you think it starts with the top, the people at the top, the people that already have money right now? Because I feel like if we all had that same type of money at this moment, we would be helping our communities and helping the culture. So do you think it starts at the top and then it trickles down?
It's a number on a piece of paper, and it's as real as you like to make it. It starts at home. Michael Jackson said, "I'm fighting with the man in the mirror. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change." That starts within. That's why they say the revolution won't be televised, not because it's not going to be on television, but because the real revolution begins in the mind. You got to start to go to war with yourself. You got to go to war with self, like we're so ready to fight things outside of ourselves. Yeah, we're not even fighting the demons that exist within us, the demons that keep us trapped in disease, the demons that keep us trapped in the demons that keep us trapped in drug addiction, the demons that keep us trapped in toxic relationships, the demons that keep us trapped in toxic interactions, the demons that keep us trapped in ideas that do not serve us. So the first things first, because no power in the universe can really come at you to do anything once you know yourself and you know your true self, because then the universe is working in your favor continuously.
So I know you wanted to talk about masculinity, as far as with like women and whatnot. So how do you think that women and masculinity has changed in today's society?
So I was speaking to a queen, and I was just articulating to her one of my experiences about how I moved into a room, and there was a woman there who was projecting a lot of masculine energy, and she wanted to go at it with me for some reason. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I pull up, like, especially if it was the summertime and I didn't have my shirt off, like, yo, I'm cut. Like, I'm a real black man, quote unquote black man. Like, I'm a real, like, work out, eat good, and it's rare for actually people to be able to see that side of the male, the black male, because most of the time we get killed off before we can even make it to the age of 25. So we don't really get to see the black masculinity in its full glory. So as I present myself, there's entities that portray the masculine, but the real masculine is the divine masculine, and the divine masculine is it's us. It's us. It's not something that can be argued about or something that can be disputed, you know, because when it comes down to it, like, the divine masculine links up with the divine feminine in order to produce God. And it's like, if you can't produce a God, if you can't produce God, you're not really godly. And, you know, sometimes we act outside of our nature, because another thing too, in order to portray that idea, you really need to act unnatural. You need to act outside of your nature. And the reason why the discrepancy was there is because my nature is divine masculine. It's not something that I project or something that I imitate. You don't have to act like it. No, it's just something that I am. You're a grown ass man. We're all grown ass men. You feel me? You feel me? So, like, you don't have to project that onto a woman or whatever. But so how did that interaction even start in the first place? I think, okay, so for a long time, the feminine had to due to post-traumatic slavery disorder that we still suffering from. There's a lot of discrepancies that the independent black woman had to. There's certain kinds of tasks that the independent black woman had to take on, not because that's something that she wanted to do, but out of necessity. And the system itself propagated itself in a way that created an environment where the divine masculine was not quote unquote needed nor necessary for the divine feminine to be able to provide for herself.
So basically not enough fathers in the household, because I came from a single mother family. Did you come from a single mother family? Or
I came from a single mother family, but it's not just having
I came from a single mother family as well.
It's not just having a father, it's a man that knows thyself. Like, man, you need, like, the man needs to know himself, because the only knowledge is really knowledge of self. So it's like, if a man who doesn't know himself, he really can't teach you about yourself, because he doesn't know himself. How can he teach you about yourself? He don't even know himself. So it's like, not just having the man inside of the house, but having the man who knows himself. And then it's like, when he has knowledge of self, he can then pass that knowledge of self down to the seed, and he can pass it on to the offspring. Like I said, the mothers, they're one of our first teachers. So it's like, you know, the divine feminine, naturally from hanging around the divine masculine who knows himself, the divine feminine then knows herself, or the divine feminine knows herself, but she also knows the divine masculine. The divine masculine knows himself, but he also knows the divine feminine. And when we make that union, it's a divine union, and that's respected. And that divine union is what begets. It's the love. And, you know, first it was love. And like I said, we fell from love. We fell from grace. We sinned against ourselves. We sinned against one another. We started fighting one another. And really, we're all we have at the end of the day. And it's like all of this fighting, and it's like really the system's pitting us against each other. We're all we have at the end of the day.
So do you think that things have changed with the times, of course?
Things are changing now. This is the time now where things are changing, and we're the catalyst for that. That's cosmically happening. You know, is written in the stars. You know, it says in Genesis, and then God put the lights in the sky, in the night sky, that act as signs for today, tomorrow, and years to come. So the stars are the signs. That's the time to tell right there. You know, the way that everything is being charged up. That's why he was saying the children right now, they're actually being born genetically different when it comes to the DNA. You know, they have more strands connected. You know, we went from 6 originally, not with us. We're 9 ether beings, so we have 9 strands open.
What is a 9 ether being? What is that?
So essentially 9 is the number of creation. You know what I'm saying? It takes 9 months, you know, before, you know, actually born into here. It's also the 9th sign, which is Scorpio, which represents transformation in life. So 9, the ether is what we are, you know what I'm saying, which is carbon, you know what I'm saying, 666, you know what I'm saying, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, you know what I'm saying, it's carbon, you know, it's ether, that's the melanin that's on our body, you know what I'm saying, so we're carbonated beings, so we're 9 ether beings, you know what I'm saying, infinite beings. So but essentially, once we, the babies that are actually being born now, being born 12-strand DNA, they're getting access to more information, hence the information age, which is why they're using cell phones a lot earlier, not just cell phones, smartphones, Alexa, you know, Siri, all of these super advanced pieces of technology. So they're getting access to more information. So therefore, they can get more information. You know, either way, be with information with nature or information out of nature, and that's where the parenting comes in as far as the direction. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said,
you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Because too much information, it depends on the information that they're being given. That could either be good.
It's
or
all
bad.
about it's all tools. Everything around us is a tool, and a tool is only an extension of yourself. A tool, like a gun, isn't necessarily bad. It doesn't do anything. Like if a gun is sitting on the table, nobody ever touch it. Nobody will ever get shot. It's up to us to pick it up and do something about it, you know. And that's when we take the action into our hands. So the information is just information. Some information is technology, and it is weaponized against us so that we can get ourselves into a certain kind of mind state. You know, there's real energetic vampires that exist inside of the world, and they need our energy in order to manifest what they have going on, because energetically they are weak. So they prey on energetically strong people who are full of energy, in order to sap them of their energy and manifest what they have going on. And it's a ploy. So the children themselves, like I said, the children are great. The children are great. They are destined for greatness. And the only thing that's going to stop them is themselves, or a parent who doesn't understand what it means to be great.
Damn. That's actually that's facts, because it does start with the parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like I thank God that I didn't have no fucking project mother that fucking just drank all day, smoked all day, didn't give a fuck about me. And like I thank God for my mom that even though we butt heads now, but
I give thanks to my mom
she was a
too.
good mother.
Shout out to the mamas. Shout out to the mamas. I love my
Mother's
mama.
Day was a couple days ago. Shout out to them. Shout out to them.
Shout out to the mamas. Comment y'a mami, c'est Dodley. Qu'on y a la télévision pour deuxième fois là. Regardez là. Haïti, comment nous y est?
Yo, you gonna have to teach me some of that, dog.
Oh yeah.
No bullshit. I only know like Jamaican patois and
Bonjour.
and English and shit.
Bonjour, that's good day. Bonsoir.
Huh?
You know patois?
Yeah, I'm Jamaican and Costa Rican.
You said what? Hold on now. We said hold on, man. That boy from the yard. Hold on. That's crazy.
Bro, I'm from the Caribbean, dog.
Oh,
like, you don't
that
see my hair and shit, my skin. Like I wasn't born in Jamaica. I was born in Boston.
So I was born in Florida. You already know what's going on.
What's it called? I went to Jamaica in 5th grade. That was pretty fire.
Oh, that's crazy.
Have you been to Haiti or?
It's been a while since I've been back. We're actually looking to tap into some nonprofit organizations and start creating some educational programs and agricultural programs to create that new. We're really in the process.
We actually have just recently created a nonprofit organization.
Tell me about it.
Do that. So the nonprofit organization is the Great One Nation Republic. It's essentially One Nation Republic. It's going to effectively teach financial literacy in a way that can actually be understood, you know what I'm saying, to all underserved communities. So it's not necessarily a color thing. It's just underserved communities, it's time for whatever that was low, that shall be high again. So that's what we're going to do, traveling to certain places, particularly our homes. We'll be going back to our home countries and putting them onto financial literacy, connecting that to the technology so that, they can stay in alignment with the times that are changing, because that is the future, the technology, and understanding the financial literacy of the technology. You know what I'm saying? What is cryptocurrency? What is the social media? And what is, what are the platforms that are getting things out? And, you know what I'm saying? Can I, sell a product, online and not have to create a brick and mortar, different things like that. So
because it's crazy how we live in this. It's almost like we live in this social bubble where we're in America. You know what I'm saying? We know how America is and we know how it runs. But then you go to these third world countries, second world countries, or whatever, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. Like they just see what's going on the news, but they really don't know much about social media. They don't know much about cryptocurrency or finances in general, because those countries are stripped financially in the first place. So how are they supposed to even know anything about that?
And you know what's crazy too? They don't have any of this information, yet every single day everybody eats.
And that's different. They basically don't even need everything that we have, and they still know how to make food, and they still know how to do regular shit.
Americans suffer from consumption. Lust of the eyes. Everything that's new, we want it. Even though like we should really give thanks and give. One thing about the third world, quote unquote third world, where's the third world though? Because there's only one planet last time I checked. But they have this concept of gratitude where every day they give thanks and they're just so grateful for everything that they have. Like if you've ever been in the struggle, you appreciate the small things in life and you give gratitude continuously. And for that reason, they are blessed. They might not be, their form of blessing might not look like what but then it's like, again, too, our perspective is skewed because we live inside of the United States, and it's like capitalism creating the scarcity and creating all these, and it's like new, but it's like nothing is new under the sun. And it's like we're in a rush for what? Like,
so I had to jump in right. Nothing is new under the sun. So people talk about a new wave, a new thing. What is nothing new underneath the sun? It's just now you're finally seeing what's always been there.
Or it's different. You know what I'm saying? So it looks at it differently. You feel me? It could be the same thing, but it's just a different, vibe.
It's like a quarter, right? It's like a quarter. It's two sides to it. Like one side is heads, but same coin. That side still like, I didn't see this side to this. That's all it is. It's the polarity, law of polarity.
So keep going on with you was talking about the
nonprofit.
Yeah, the nonprofit.
Yeah. So the nonprofit is going to be tapping into Guinea right now. We have some projects going on that's going to be starting up in Kenya within 2022. We're actually going to be going on some type of a tour,
World tour.
Yeah, world tour to Kenya, to Guinea,
Ghana.
Ghana,
Haiti.
Yeah, we're gonna throw an IET in there.
IET.
Yeah, essentially, it's gonna be a entertainment and educational tour. Right, so where there's going to be the concerts and the shows, that there's also going to be development workshops and programs, being done, being established. Essentially, we'll go in and establish it, and then it'll be up and running. So instead of Marine Corps, like it was done once in the past, we're updating it to be like we're going to actually establish a new system, and we're going to plant individuals that's going to manage the operations, to manage the operation, and then they'll just keep filling others in. So essentially, they're going to be connected to the Private Wealth Club, which is the new universities that's currently being erected. They're currently going up right now as Private Wealth Club, which essentially acts as a spiritual and it's like a life school, where you come to master yourself. And we are in the most simplest terms, we are science. That's what nature is. We are God, which is natural, which is nature. Nature is science. It's a mathematical problem. So now we've came together, Primal Records and Private Wealth Club in unison underneath this one nation, because we are all the ones. Everybody in here is great. You know what I'm saying? So that makes you the one. You know what I'm saying? So we're one nation. We're one united. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're republic because, that's our power. You know what I'm saying? That's our sovereign power. So we'll effectively teach the specific information that was left out from our upbringing: credits, drop shipping, e-commerce, real estate, what is wholesaling, how to leverage credit. We'll teach about the banks and how it even operates. We'll teach about, what an actual birth certificate and what your social security is. These different things that we were never taught, but yet we possess all of these things. Or do we really truly possess them?
As well as agriculture.
Yes.
We don't truly possess it. It is loaned out to us.
It is given to us at our birth, and we sign it over immediately. You know what I said? It is given. We naturally were born with the birthright of freedom and richness and wealth, and we sign it over to them involuntarily, of course. But
most people don't read the terms and conditions.
Meaning like paying bills, or how do we sign over?
So meaning like signing up for them as an employee. You register for an application. Your birth certificate has two names, and the other name is Certificate of Live Birth Registration. So it's a registration form where you're registering up for the company. You know what I'm saying? Which is the UK. The crown. So you're saying that, okay, I'm going to be working, I'm going to go to school, and I'm probably going to, have a doctor, and I'm probably going to have this. So, you're generating value. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be valuable in this system, this current, everything that's going on currently in this currency. You know what I'm saying? So then your mother, involuntarily signs off on that, and so does the doctor, and then you're right there, and then they take your soul, they take your soul, the bottom of your foot, which we call what? Our soul. And they put it on the piece of paper. So then, boom, that's your signature. So then, boom, you just applied, boom, they take you, with all the babies. I'm like, oh, this room right here is going to make this amount. Okay, boom, this is how much this piece of paper is worth. You know what I'm saying? They have it documented. It's called a bond, so that's what I mean by that. So once we tap into not giving that power away, we get this particular information, we won't give that power away. But now for those who's already gone through that, we just have to rescind that, and just through an authentication process. Like, hold on, wait, shit, I didn't know what I was doing. It's a term. I think it's called "mot de jour." It's like a French term, basically saying, "Oh, I didn't know, but now I know." So you just you want to resend all that once you know where you come from, the line, you know what I'm saying, and what your tribal name is. You had a tribe, and that tribe, was their own nation. They had their own, laws and coordinates. You can get in alignment with that.
So once we start to learn those things, then we will become higher beings.
It's levels to it. It's levels to it. So it's like diet is one thing, and then that mentality as well, the understanding, that's another thing, and It's mind, body, and spirit. Once we get all three of those things in tune, we can connect to that higher state of consciousness and become those higher beings.
I like that. Thank y'all for coming on the show, man. This was a really enlightening show.
No freestyle?
I'm like, we was gonna do a joint talk freestyle next time you come in. I'm like, you said you wanted to do shrooms the next time you come.
Oh yeah, next time I'm on here, I'm gonna be tripping hard as fuck on some mushrooms.
Hey yo, go in the comment section and comment how many grams of shrooms you want this nigga to take, bro.
Yeah, let me know how many. Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Niggas like, yo, take a whole eighth. Take a whole eighth. Let me see that shit.
That wouldn't be the first time.
Yo, like shrooms or acid better? Which one?
Mushrooms, organic.
Definitely the magic mushrooms. The magic ones.
I do like mushrooms too. The first time I did shrooms, I watched Inception on that shit, bro.
Oh, that was
How
crazy.
was that?
Bro, that shit was amazing, bro. I figured out the whole movie, my nigga,
Okay,
bro.
great.
Like,
I'm
real
doing-
I wanna
shit, bro.
watch.
I'll
Like,
do that
bro,
next time.
you see like how it like topples over kind of at the end, bro. Like it go, bro. Like, come on, Leo's alive, bro.
I want to see.
Like, come on, dog.
I want to see. I definitely want to be tripping hard as hell, and I want to watch Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange that's the one with what's his name?
I couldn't tell you his name. I promise you.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's the word.
Did it just come out, or is that a
the
older
original
film?
Doctor Strange, right? Doctor Strange.
I feel like I haven't seen that.
Strange?
I feel like I haven't heard of that.
That's a
shit.
Marvel. He's from Marvel Comics.
That's from Marvel.
His name Dr. Stephen Strange. That one.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. That one's late. He gets tapped in and then he taps up. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Well, I guess he was. I think he was tapped out, and then he tapped in.
And then he got tapped in. You know?
Yeah.
He had to get smacked in the face.
It was crazy because he was like, my hands
shit.
don't work.
Spiritually.
He was like, my hands don't work. And he was like, your hands don't work because you think they don't work. And it was like, he was like, my hands work. And then what happened? His hands worked. And people think it's really a lot more, it's really as complicated as you like to make it, I promise you.
Yeah, she just your hands don't work because you think they don't work. And then, but the master takes one outside of their experience. So that's what happened in the movie. We ain't going. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out.
No bullshit. I'm thinking about doing like, cause I remember the first time I did shrooms, I think I only took like maybe like 2 grams or so. I'm thinking about doing probably like an eighth or probably a little more. I want to try that outer
Should we
body.
all of us trip
experience.
at the same time and then try to do the interview?
I don't mind, bro. I'm like,
I
fuck
said,
it.
I'm a psilocybin enthusiast as I am a finance.
As long as y'all can drive home afterwards, because we all
yeah.
we can't just sleep at Pat's house unless Pat, you trying to have a sleepover?
Look, man, I'm one with nature, so it's no frequency that I can't, vibrate with. I actually just turn it off if I need to do something else. Just turn it off. Like, okay, I'm done with this. It's like playing a video game. All right, I'm done with this. Turn it off.
And you can really control your mind like that.
Yo, it was so crazy. Like, you'll be so. That's the reason I say you create your reality, because it was like, because it's like, yo. At one point, I was like, let me backtrack. No, I actually have complete control in this situation. I actually have complete control, and it's like you need to.
You say backtrack. You want to really fall back. You like
relax right quick.
I can just move here. Because you fell back, you step back. It's like, going forward, and then you take a step back. And like,
how am I going to get across the river? And it's like, oh, I could just step over it. I could literally just step. Matter of fact, I could float over it. I could step over it. I could fly over it. I could jump over it. I could dig a hole under it. And it's like we create obstacles in our mind. We just got to get over ourselves.
All right, well, we going to have to end the show on that. I like that. Shit. Don't create obstacles for yourself, bro. Hey, yo, thank y'all for being on the show. Seaux9, Infinity. Hey, yo, thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and share in this video. Also, make sure you subscribe to Namula. And if you want the spring collection, make sure you go on mhmm.com.co. More hustle, more money, baby. We out.
More hustle, more money.
Facts.
Yes, Sirski.
Ain't no silver spoons, man. There ain't no pity for the weak.
I done had to crawl, but I balled.
Nonetheless, these L's was lessons, man. I swear that we stay blessed. Let's not forget, diamonds get the most press. Solidified more or less. I stay with the tech.